This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Let me get one thing straight. I don't know anything about F1. My closest connection to F1 is that my podcast co-host brother hosts an F1 podcast called Formula Bone. Other than that, they drive cars, I think? I don't have anything against it, I just don't know anything about it. Something I do know a thing or two about, though, is Top Gun Maverick, a movie I saw in theaters 3 separate times and one that I still think about regularly today. What do these two films have in common? An absurd amount of things, but the main one is that they're both directed by Joseph Kosinski. By that logic, F1, the movie, should be a slam dunk. This was, despite my lack of Formula One knowledge, one of my most anticipated films of the year for those reasons. And it's F1 the movie tells the story of Sonny Hayes, a retired F1 driver who is one day approached by Ruben, an F1 team owner, who asks Sonny to come back as a mentor for a hot up-and-comer named Joshua Pierce. The film stars Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Kerry Condon, and Javier Bardem, and it's a whopping 2 hours and 36 minutes long. Wowza! Let's start with Brad. I think Brad Pitt is one of the best actors we got, and it's been frustrating watching him get served one underwhelming role after another after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A film I didn't think he deserved an entire Oscar for, but one that did happen to capture the unique charm he brings to the screen, one that made me realize I think I really like Brad Pitt. F1 is far from the best Brad Pitt performance, but there's a case to be made that it's the most Brad Pitt performance. You see, there are several Brad Pitts out there. There's cool Brad, funny Brad, sad dad Brad. He brings a lot of vibes to the table. Oftentimes you can only get one of these Brads at a time, but in F1 you get a little bit of everything. He's funny, sad, cool, and old in a way where, for the first time, he kind of knows it. He doesn't move as smooth as he used to, but damn, when he's rocking the white shirt with the white pants, oh, he's still got it. And more importantly, he's got a good screen presence. Folks will be quick to call him not as movie star-like as Tom Cruise when making comparisons, but I would argue the one thing this has over Maverick is a lead actor who does seem to have a little humanity every now and then. When it needs to, it pokes its head out, and that's something I can't say about Tom Cruise. But that's what we love about him, right? Kerry Condon never misses a beat here. She reads this tone super well. Her performance actually reads as too good for what this movie is at times, like a specific scene in a bar where she's on a roll and then they throw in some cheesy melodramatic music over it. Just completely unnecessary and totally watered down the moment. But that's not to say I don't enjoy the score here. Hans Zimmer is having a little techno moment from time to time, and unsurprisingly, it goes insane. And Javier Bardem, man, I love Javier Bardem, but it's so funny how hit or miss he is sometimes. He goes for it in a way that I appreciate, very over the top. And to be fair, I can't put this all on him. He's dealt some pretty hilarious and awkward lines. But when he tells Brad, "You stay in that tub with the ice," it tickled me. Something about that line was just perfect. I do have to gush about just how insane this movie was to make. Some backstory if you didn't know. Director of photography Claudio Miranda, in collaboration with Sony, custom made what's now called the Rialto system, which disconnects the body of the camera from the sensor in a way that allows the camera to be used in spaces that were previously inaccessible. Perfect for shots, say, in a cockpit. But for F1, the spaces are even tighter, so they took an already condensed design and made it even smaller with what's now called the Rialto Mini to allow the actors to continue driving while shooting and not having a whole camera system in their way. Other perks with this allowed them to move the camera around as it was mounted, which gives you these super quick pans mid-race that they certainly use quite a bit, never gets old. Which is all to say that there's some amazing technology behind this, some truly inventive and forward-thinking moments. But that said, the sheer amount of coverage in this movie teeters on being excessive. Hard to think of an angle here that wasn't achievable. Editor Stephen Mirion does do a pretty spicy job with the cut of this, but damn, sometimes it isn't about the amount of angles or reaction shots that makes the tension. It's about what's on the page. And what's on the page it could use some work. Taking a step back, something important to note here is that it wasn't just me who loved Top Gun Maverick. The film was a whole thing, making it all the way to the Oscars on top of being one of the biggest hits of that year. To many, myself included, it was the first film since the pandemic where folks thought to themselves, we're back. This film, F1, aims to capture all the same magic as Maverick. Same types of camera angles, same themes, same iconic actor acting as a mentor to the younger generation, a handful of cheesy cheesy pop songs, a refreshing commitment to sincerity, a 90s blockbuster vibe. It wants Top Gun's swag, but falls short in all the places it needs to thrive in. I think something to note about what made Top Gun so thrilling was the fact that the stakes felt a lot higher. It was literally life or death, and here we see accidents happen more than once, and things pick back up relatively quickly. But beyond that nitpicky note, the precision of what they're doing in Top Gun Maverick is given way more attention than the precision required by F1 drivers in this film. I don't know that much about the sport, but I do know precision and those fine details in the race, in the build, are what make it impressive. F1 aims to capture this attention through the hundreds of reaction shots, utilizing every member of the team to hammer home just how much work and how many people go in to making sure this race goes smoothly. But somewhere along the way, somewhere within these hundreds of reaction shots, you lose sight of the gateway into this fascination. The race itself, the driving. There's a fantastic angle they use at the tail end, a POV from the very front of the car during a final lap, and it is gorgeous. It feels dark and lonely, and more than anything, visceral. It strips the whole scene down to its pure essentials. You're just a car on a road going fast. I get that it probably wouldn't have hit as hard had they overused this type of shot throughout the film, but I do wish there were more moments like this that cut out all the noise of the announcers and the team and let the viewer experience the purity of being behind the wheel, the thing that motivates our lead, that drives him. That's something you see in Maverick a lot. You see how flying is treated like a drug to Cruise, and it's contagious. Here, there's something more troubled going on with this character, more internal, and the formula used on Maverick just doesn't translate over as effectively. All of that said, F1 is a great time at the movies. As someone who doesn't know anything about this sport, I liked it. I'm sure there's a million things wrong with it that fans will point out, but I liked it. It's big and loud, and like I mentioned, a return to that 90s blockbuster vibe that got me to fall in love with Maverick a few years ago. I adore the fact that Kaczynski doubled down on that aspect specifically. This thing is so cheesy in a way that I don't wince at. It's just charming. The song choices here are terrible, and I love it. On the way home, I was telling my girlfriend how the film has a strong Topgolf vibe about it, and I haven't been able to get this out of my head. If you don't know Topgolf, it's this wonderful place where golf is treated like bowling. You hit balls into a lit-up driving range of different targets. There's an Angry Birds option if you'd like. You get to order $30 chicken tenders. You get to listen to the worst rock, pop, EDM fusion. It's big, it's a little tacky, it brings in a very fratty crowd, and you know what? It's a lot of fun. Basically, it's the Joseph Kaczynski experience. But similar to Topgolf, we need movies like this. More of them, preferably, not just once a year. They are cheesy and flawed, and maybe a bit overstuffed, but damn do they bring a sort of pure cinematic thrill that only few can successfully pull off these days, without getting dragged into some multiverse bullshit. If you can't tell, I liked it. And that's what I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Go watch F1 and form your own opinion, and before you head out. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a bespoke online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business. They offer a complete library of professionally designed and award-winning website templates with options for every use and category. No matter where you start, your website is incredibly flexible to what you need, with intuitive drag-and-drop editing, beautiful styling options, unrivaled visual design effects, on-brand AI content, and more ways to list what you offer. No experience required. In fact, you might just have a little bit of fun with it. When you make that website, you're going to want to get it seen, which reminds me of their SEO tools. Every website, including yours, is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, and auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often on search engines and bring in more of your ideal customers. If you're looking to become a filmmaker and you need a website, they have a wonderful feature for that. Squarespace makes it incredibly easy to showcase your expertise and engage clients with video content on your website. Upload and organize your videos, create stunning video libraries, and even monetize your content by adding a paywall. Perfect for online courses, exclusive tutorials, and premium workshops. Head to squarespace.com/Karsten for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use offer code Karsten to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.